Hey traders, this is my morning video. Try to have it done in 9 minutes. Please retweet me if you get a chance on Twitter and leave comments below on YouTube if you can. I will have a link below for my Discord if anybody wants in. It's all free. Okay, so if anybody comes into my Zoom, my daily Zoom, it's live. I talk sometimes. Most of the day I don't talk, but anybody in the room has the ability to come in and talk if they want. If they see a setup and learned about the other members and stuff. So, what I got going on this morning, this is what you see if you come in. This will be the main screen, and I'll change the charts a little bit from time to time. So, the main takeaway for today, the ES H24, we had a contract roll last night in the futures contracts. So, major change in tone. That's it for 2023 on the contract rows on the main indices. So be very mindful of that. So we do have that going on. I put this up on my chart. I typically have SPY and Qs because that's what I trade. But today, because of the contract row, it's distorting your volume charts. So if you zoom in here on your little volume chart here, because of the contract row, if you look at just the regular ES contract, there's a major gap up on the ES. If you just type in ES futures, there's a major gap up in the prints. And with this contract, you're not actually seeing that gap, and you're seeing how price is interacting. The prices with just ES, if you just put ES in here, the volume profile on ES will be completely different. See the volume profile on the ES? Because it's adjusting for contracts. This is completely different than what you're getting with the ES H24. So technically, the first week or two after the contract row, it's probably wise to do this setup so you can have a better feel for how volume is related to price. Volume and price are interacting. So just be mindful of that in your trading. So both that and NQs, I got both those charts on my platform here, and that gives you some idea. Uh, just a better way of looking at it if you're uh, a day trader, pattern day trader. Okay. Other things I'm looking at this morning, TLT, we got the 200-day moving average on the 1 hour. Major back test. If you come zoom out here, this has acted as a major back test area. We're coming back into that this morning. Really decent odds we're probably going to back test that either today or tomorrow. Don't know. They don't have to do it today, but either today or tomorrow. Tomorrow they don't have to break the Friday lows, and that 200-day will be up right into that Friday low area. So they don't technically have to take us lower, but something to think about going into today's session. VX futures. I have a price target down here in the low 13s. That would probably complete the pattern to the downside, so that's still more bullish to markets. And the Dixie, if the Dixie were to rally and break out, that would be bearish to markets. But so far this morning, despite the fact the EU came out saying that they weren't going to get rid of the zero rate interest rate policy, the dollar still is not rallying hard even off that news. So showing relative weakness here, suggesting that we're probably going to have a bullish stance in the markets if my alerts gets taken out here on the dollar early on this session. So we're definitely keeping that one on watch. I generally don't have the dollar on my charts, but I think that's important this morning. Okay. Some quick things I'm looking at this morning here. I'm still watching Google to the downside. We had that big move up from this level down here on the news of this AI boom thing. And what happened was on that press release, they spoofed the numbers. They came out and admitted Friday they spoofed the numbers. In other words, the AI didn't perform nearly as well as they made it look like in the presentation. They had to rig rigged the show to make it look to react the way the initial press release, had it coming out. So we could very easily be coming back down here and feeling that entire gap here in as soon as the market starts to turn to the bearish side. So definitely keeping that one on watch. Some things I'm looking at this morning. Tesla is really one of the top ones here. So Tesla down here, if you look at your Delta cumulative study, And we are just now, we're really starting into a strong delta zone here on Tesla. So I'm really watching this one here for setting up for a breakout. It's down a little bit from Friday, but I'm really starting watching this one here really close for a breakout trade if they want to continue this market higher this week. Another thing I did want to mention here on SPY, we got this gap right above us here on SPY, where we are moving away from it this morning. So I'm really keeping a close eye on this for possibly a gap fill today. So remember, guys, they pushed the markets up high enough to get the cash session right into resistance Friday. And technically now, they've got with the roll, they've got the active contracts above resistance on the ES futures and NASDAQ. Okay, so we are technically, so they got that little uh, a little mixture of things going on here, and it might just be enough for them to take it over the top, and us finally start breaking back to those all-time highs on the Qs. Uh, if you have been a day trader like I have been, one thing we've had 2 weeks of inside the market maker move, and which hasn't happened for some time. I think April was the last time this has happened, 2 back-to-back weeks. So there's a really good chance we're not going to have an inside week. So that means that we're either going to break way down past the expected move to the downside or way up to the upside. I don't know which. Historically, though, seasonality wise, it's probably going to be to the upside. But my main takeaway here that I do want to point out here is that they every time we've had to sell down, it's been a lot harder if you're using your fibs as a day trader. They have turned it early more times on the downside before the fib hits to screw up everybody who was short than on the upside. So the risk reward, the odds have been in the favor of the bullish trade versus the bearish trade in this 2 week cycle. So be mindful of that. Anybody who's been a day trader using fibs, you know, it's far more likely that you were stopped out on the bearish trade than if you were on the bullish trade. So just a takeaway going forward. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but I just want to float that in the back of everybody's mind. Maybe they took us all the way up here just to trash us, trash and crash and burn it, But right now, I mean, I'm not gung ho on that trade, but time will tell. Another one I'm really keeping an eye on here, and that's the old Amazon here. We're about to turn bullish on the deltas again here. You see how long we have been in this trading range here. So, ideally, you're looking at 43 all the way up to 48, $7 move, breakout move from here. That would put us, 155 potential here on a breakout potential. If you zoom down in here, uh, just today, we're potentially going bullish on the deltas. So, this is one out of the gate that I'd be really careful about shorting. I mean, your deltas are, your cumulative delta study suggests there should be a bullish bias. So be very mindful of that. And we've been consolidating for such a long time. I would be more. This is actually becoming more support down here, so be very careful on that short if anybody's trying to short that. The strongest charts are Meta. We closed the week with a very strong chart on Meta. You go back down here to the 30 minute. And as you can see how very strong the Meta chart has been going into this resistance. If you go on the 1 hour chart now, you see, I mean, given that relative strength on the 30 minute, that suggests, we could very easily be coming back up. Buy the dip on that one. Another one that I was looking at here, Netflix, on the 30 minute. 30 minute there. Maybe wait a minute. Can't remember what time frame it was looking at. But anyway, I was watching Netflix for a potential bounce candidate. Don't like that one as well. And I got Apple. Apple wasn't the other one that was really strong into the end of the week. Come in here. Still pretty strong here on our deltas. If you're going to 30 minutes, what do we got going on there? Yeah, see, the 30 minutes suggests just right back here. So keep that in mind. That right there. So I keep that on watch here. So if Apple were to start crossing back above up here, that's probably a buy signal back into this topping range. It's probably a buy signal on Apple. But right now, it's broken, so you have to wait for the setup. Okay. So guys, I'm over 10 minutes, so cut it close here. I hope my audio is working fine because I've done everything I can to get it fixed. So we'll see what happens here. I'll test it here in a minute. So at any rate, I'm gonna get rid of my other upload and see if this works better. Uh, so basically, be really careful. This is day one, and one other thing I didn't show you guys on the volume profile. I gotta show you guys that real quick. That's not the chart. Wait a minute here. 1 second, guys. 1 second. We get the chart up. And if you go over here on the daily time frame, see the volume profile there on the daily. Well, I go yearly first. So on the year, you see what happens here. You basically, the highest volume, developing volume to do business here on the current contracts that just happened. See, this will look completely different on just ES. But on the current contracts, we're right at the highest point to do business. So be very mindful of that. That means this is the highest volume we're opening up right here at the very highest point. And this is not a normalized bell curve. So be mindful of that. So this does not look like a completed upside pattern on this brand new contract. So I definitely want everybody to realize that. It looks like a potential continuation pattern to finish out the bullish. So you're breaking above like you're still above uh, November's highs here. So that also on ES24 here. So be careful on that. And then if you go over to the NQs real quick, I'm sorry, I'm drawing this out longer than I wanted to. Going to daily. See, you're not over November highs yet. You're up here in the upper distribution. It's not bad. And going to weekly here, I want to point this out also. See how we are on the yearly time frame on these new contracts. They look completely different if you go /NQ. See, the chart completely different, 100% different. So if you're just looking at the current contracts, we're right at the highest volume on that contract to open the session, and it doesn't look like a completed, buyer. It doesn't look like to start day one with a something like volume profile like that. It does not suggest that the upside is done to me. So okay, that's all I gotta say. Thanks a lot.